West side of Bena, or west side of Winnie Lake. Come across a lot of cool stuff. I accidentally shut my video off. These pine cones look pretty placed. I'm on a trail. Here's a pointer hung. Looks like the trail goes here. This is really thick here. Holy shit. A lot of vines. Something goes under there. Sometimes I wonder if little people exist. Like little people. There's kind of a little hangout up in here. Look at that. Browned out branch hang. It almost looks like they ducked down and stepped right through here. There's a break across. And the weird part is there's not one vine growing right here. It's like a doorway. There's so many pine cones in here. Look at this, guys. It's like a shit, it's like a fucking hut in here. Wow. Maybe the young ones hang out in here. You know, the big ones could get in there too and lay. You'd never know they were in there. It's definitely well packed down. Oh, it's got a smell. Kind of like a... I think it's the smell of the vine though. Maybe it's the little people hang out. So if Sasquatch and Bigfoot exist, well then what's to say? You know, there ain't dogmen there ain't people, you know, a foot tall, you know, or even smaller, or fairies, you know, we don't know. Christ. Obviously, things can be super smart. Obviously, all the signs are there, and there's things that had to have been placed. There's the tracks, you know, all in line tracks without other, you know, round tracks. Like if it was a bear, obviously they kind of have human-like feet in the back, but you get tracks all in a line without the other impressions of a round foot, you know, the front paws. Or bear's front paws are kind of lengthier. You know, especially like in the mud where you're getting these inline tracks, or in the snow inline tracks where they're all perfectly in line. Not a bear. You know, 4 to 6 foot step betweens, or 7 or even more. I mean, for me, they exist, you know. Sometimes I second guess myself, but it's just too much over and over. Or they'll mark their food, or mark their trails, majorly mark their trails, or their hangouts are all the same. Not like exactly, but there's something here. Like, you know, you get this one that sticks out, and you get it like browned out underneath, you know, and you're finding like holes with puffballs buried to keep them from browning out, you know. You get acorn piles under branch markers, and they triangle it out or square it out underneath, you know, with sticks. And you move the leaves, and there's a big pile of acorns, and it's marked. It's marked. Something with a mind, something really smart, marked it, you know. Let's say I would love to live their life, you know. Their only enemy is probably us. Their only enemy is, you know, of course they got the dangers of storms and that kind of stuff, but their main enemy is us, you know. Here is a pile of softer poop. Not a big pile. This is like really well used area. Someone was poking around here digging. Could be squirrel, could be Sasquatch, I don't know. This is where you look for branch hangs or food markers. Not really seeing much. There's actually a branch hang there. And there's an old stump where they were digging. I think they're a beautiful creature. I think the way they live and the way they do things in the woods is beautiful. Here's a really white standout stick, right? Y stick at that. And there's this hole goes nowhere. Something's digging there. This is where I wouldn't doubt if it's marked above. Yeah, here you go. You got a hanger right there. Browned out leaf right there. This one's broke downwards. Could be a hangout. I could see a Sasquatch sitting there and poking in there with that stick. There's actually a track going the other way right there. Where the pine cone is there is actually the big toe. That, let's see, it'd be that first one. That first pine cone. That's the big toe, the heel's there. This track is literally, let me put my foot at the back of the heel. That's kind of cool. The pine cone's in the big toe, so I would say 13, another good 6 inches, so about a 19-inch track, maybe a little more. I don't think my foot's quite back to the heel. And I kind of smushed their stick where they're digging with it. I know I talk a lot. I do videos where I'm pretty quiet most of the time. I gotta learn to look up more too. You know, they don't ever, I don't think they'd ever put themselves in a predicament to where they go up a tree and be stuck in the one tree. They'd either be able to go to another tree and another tree. If they do go up a tree, is there a possibility they can cloak or maybe raise their energy to start passing into another world, or, you know, or go in and out? I think that's very possible. There's a real clear marker. Probably was put there. Sorry, the sun's really blinding it out, but autofocus. I don't know. I gotta remember to turn my autofocus on. I think, yeah, there's two actually. This is pretty cool. At least I think there's two there. Yeah, so you got one hung there. The other one would have had to have been the one that's hung. Yeah, you can't see it because of the sun, but there's another one that's lodged in. That other one's actually holding this one, so they would have had to fall at the same time and miraculously land perfectly to hold the other one, or the one got placed as the other one was held there. Which I'm going with that because it's right on a trail. Here it is, guys. Now you can see it. There's two there. One's actually held up by the other. So, one of the strongest trees out here. Nothing fell on it. Got that marker. You got another oak branch lodged in, directly leaning to that one down there. And here's the cool part. This was literally bent over to a vertical position. Like this here is quite a bit like a hangout marker. You know, I don't know if they butt them all off, but this here is a lot like a hangout marker, and there's a lot going on behind this. So see how it goes vertical and then perfectly horizontal. Usually they butt off. This one doesn't, but to me this looks like a hangout marker, you know. There's another one lodged in. That's pretty cool. This is beautiful. There's one that's pointing, broke off, and then leaned and pointing. This one's beautiful. This pine tree is the dead center. They always dead center on their structures, but that bend, that pine tree is the dead center. That's a white oak. That's a very strong tree. What fell on it, you say? Let's find out. Probably nothing. How the hell did they do that? What did they... Nothing fell on it, guys. It's literally bent down and lodged under all this brush to hold it down. That's all. It goes there, it comes down, and it's lodged under. So nothing fell on this wood oak. It's just lodged under all the brush to hold it down. But you got that, you got the wallow marker, these two structures, this bend and then the hangout marker there, that other oak tree, actually line up on point. So I'm standing dead center, right? That's why they have a dead center, I think. You stand flush with it, there's always a dead center. A lot of times it's blatant like this one. And other structures behind it will line up. It like tells a story, I think. This is actually really freaking cool. This is really cool. 2 white oaks. There's your dead center. Lines up on point at the base. These horseflies are eating the shit out of me. No, I'm ready to get out of here. Well, good, because I'm at the trail. Here's something sat here, did something here. There's a hang. That is a trail here. I'm tired. I gotta work tomorrow. Yay! Thank you, guys. Look at this. Come out to that, the birch tree. These are either pointing to a trail or literally a hangout. So this one here literally points to the, I'm not shitting you, that X, that big X I first came to is right up in there in the woods. It's like around a couple corners, but literally that X is right there. So that's what this is pointing towards. Phenomenal. All this stuff lines up, guys. This one is on point with those structures I just showed you. This one, literally, where did it come from? This one's literally on point with the structures up there. Yeah. So this big tree actually laid across here. I don't know how the hell they did that. That's weird. But anyways, crazy. That leans on point with the base of that one. They line things up. It's like a road map. Things line up. One road will lead to the next. On point. This is what this stuff is, I think, you know. I know it is, and they're markers. I was talking to Abe Del Rio's buddy. You know, he's Indian, and he knows about markers and stuff. Look at this. This one's beautiful. It's bent, and then it's X'd underneath it. Perfect. That's the X is the dead center, and it actually lines up with a tree perfectly in the background. I know there's a lot of trees, and it's a pretty good chance it'll line up, but there will be something that way. These horseflies are eating me alive. Sorry, when the flies get bad, I get a little more bouncy. You guys are getting the info. I'm trudging. I'm doing the hard work for you. A lot of pine cones. Actually, there's quite a few on this hill. Okay, I'm gonna spray the shit out of these things. Got enough. Go find your friends, you little fuckers. Sorry. Nedahoo! Nefatia, that was really cool up in there. You guys are really, really neat. They're not dumb guys. I talked to them. You know, I know they know your intention. I know they know what you're putting out towards them. You know, I love these guys. To me, they're amazing, you know. Some people think they're evil, but you guys are amazing. And very, very smart. And beautiful. Your way of life is beautiful. Our way of life, us hairless people, we have a really ugly way of life. You guys are amazing. Why aren't we living like this, you know? We live the stressed life. We live the demonic life. I don't know, demon to me kind of goes with digital, computerized. It'll connect one way or another. Demons, the word demon, I get a feeling connects with you wouldn't believe the horse flies around me. My brain ain't thinking. Demonized, computerized, shitalized. This is kind of weird. Kind of a opened area. This actually falls in line with that. You know, they use little things. I've seen them use our garbage off the road to mark a trail. You know, they'll hang a bag and then they'll do I've seen them hang a bag on the way to work. I pay attention every day. One spot, they hung a bag. There was something in the bag. You know, it was like literally like 14, 15 feet in the air. Somebody must do garbage out. They hung the bag. They marked a trail there. I had a feeling it was a trail mark. I never stopped. But within, like, I'd say 3 weeks, I'm back at the truck, thank God. They hung a bag. They broke a white oak. No wind. Nothing fell on it. It got snapped down. Which it was facing, like towards the highway. And well, then they slowly structure things. They don't, if it's in view, they'll do it a little at a time. So they snapped it down. Well, the next time it come by, they had peeled it down a little more and then pulled it sideways. Now it points towards my dad's house. So I think they gotta, you know, when there's multiple things going on in one spot, there's probably more paths are taken, you know, or they just mark it more heavily, you know, I don't know. But, you know, I know Sasquatch is here. I know they were more than likely around me. You know, I wasn't worried about Sasquatch. I was not worried about Sasquatch. The only thing I worried about the whole time I was out there was bears. That's it. You know, if I had the intention, if I was walking in there and I had the intention of hurting a Sasquatch or anything like that, you know, at that point, I think I'd probably fear them more because I knew they would sense that. They have, I believe, a phenomenal sense. They can feel energy. I believe that, you know. They're so clear. They don't eat the shit, you know. Their energy is clear. They can feel. They're probably psychic. They probably, you know, I put out the energy that my mind thought. I put out the energy that, you know, I wanted to come to this area. And I had it in my head that I wanted to come to this area. So, you know, at that point, they probably sensed it, you know. They probably knew I was coming. Just thoughts. Okay, bye guys.